Hello, Fighter Night Warriors. Isn't it Martin Luther King today? Happy MLK Day. I'm so grateful for that person in history. Let's talk about this Pobo again. So, Pobo stands for Prevent Overeating by Overeating. And already there, a lot of people will not want to use the term because you think it's a shame to want to eat or overindulge. But hey, I'm the glutton, I'm the pig who made the whole concept fighter diet. So you can actually eat and be stuffed and full and just wake up being leaner. So there's absolutely no shame in wanting to eat. I would say, au contraire, that if you want to live your life feeling that the world tells you what you should be ashamed about, you're not part of my team because I think for myself, I make my calls, I'm my own boss. I'm not here to subscribe to ideals that I think aren't at all in my interest. And I'm also not interested in relay the same kind of pattern of train of thought or expectations and then tell everyone else to push for that. That if you're not working for X amount of fitness goals or body goals, then all of a sudden, you're not good enough. You're not going to hear that from me. And to kind of just remind you that I have in my career and my life really used my fears to motivate myself to keep on working hard, to not forget. And I didn't see that that was a problem. I thought that was great. I know exactly how to make myself motivated. I just scare the crap out of myself. So fears of fat gain, fears of losing muscle, fears of losing strength, fears of everything like that. Oh, I just used it. And it really served the purpose. It really worked. But I also know now that I wouldn't want to keep living like that because uh, once you actually have no choice but to face your fears and realizing that all you thought were all you wanted, you don't want to do it anymore. It's not at all what you thought was in love with. Welcome to my life, because that is how my life evolves all the time. That I am in love with things and I keep on, and then all of a sudden I realize, well, that was it. Now I want this, and then I go for it. And in training and changing training styles, there's a lot of resistance because you're scared, just like me, and you're holding on to it because you're more like other people. And I'm just one of those who, thankfully, didn't have a choice but to think, how am I going to do it? I want to build muscle. I want to keep on training. I don't want to be in pain. I know I can't keep doing this, and I also didn't want to. I didn't realize I was out of love for probably 15 years or so in training. And that says all you need to know about disciplined people, that discipline isn't the same as being happy. It will help you get to what you want, yes, but then how are you going to handle maintaining it? So there's a lot deeply rooted, and in my communities, not fired up, but in general, like people, fellow competitors from the past, they still live the same kind of competitor life, but they don't have the bodies, and they're not really happy at all. So when they come to me and say, "Hey, the thing," I'm like, "No," because I'm not part of it. So I don't relate about doing the grind and doing the same thing and the contest prep. I'm not at all about that. But I also don't. I know people don't live my life. They don't follow me, so they just assume, right? But I'm not that person. So here you go about the Pobo now. I just think it's so hilarious about how we can hold on to things and just come out of the other side. Wait, and that is all I fought for so much, and I was terrified about letting that go. So facing fears, you end up realizing that be careful what you wish for, because now there would be nothing in me that want to do what I used to do, and that was all I came here to do. So things change if you're open for it. So thank to the body for me that I couldn't do what I thought I wanted to do most. So I ended up with what I wanted to do that I love so much. That also enables me. So no more holding back to trying to maintain and now what a bore to maintain some routine that I don't even want to do. I don't live my life to do things on chore because I can do it. That time is not my life anymore. So all that stuff you've heard me, my delivery, so tough, not at all what I talk about now, because it's not at all what makes me happy. And it's not going to make you happy, trust me, because what are you going to do there? Look at those people who hold on to it. They're not really happy smiling all day long, and they keep on having the same yo-yo dieting, gain it all and then not. But I'm not, because I learned my lesson and I love what I do, and I remember too. And here's the thing, there's another kind of dichotomy, so you should learn to be open to learn about yourself. That the day that I stopped completely counting calories, I just keep a little note, very little. I have not been as, let's say, the discipline is so easy now because I don't want to have less freedom. It's so enjoyable not to track and not to count that I on point want to keep it that way and not have to track. So I'm more aware. So I just naturally became more disciplined because I enjoyed having such a relaxed way. So that is the level to the level. Now let's talk about the Pobo so you understand the whole thing. In order to be happy, and in all this food and the fitness, just talk about the food, the eating. In order to be happy, you have to have what you want, no matter what it is. You have to have it in some form, and then how much is going to be a way of negotiation or compromise, which you will gauge by learning and living. When you're getting lean, you're going to be hungry. So now it's going to be tough for you to moderate a portion. So now when you're going to want to have the big crap or the junk or the typical high calorie, not the health food, the greed food. Now when you want that, you're going to notice that you can't satisfy your appetite or your craving. You're going to have a moreish flavor. You want more. Then you're going to sit there feeling unsatisfied, like having sex and not an orgasm. That's why we do it on our own if you can't do it with someone else, right? So that's what I love to be solo. I know 100% I always get off my way. Satisfaction guaranteed, you bet. As much as I want, as often as I want. There's no stopping. I don't have to ask and have to beg. Good. And I don't have to put out either. Okay, so in order to get the satisfaction out of your kryptonite, you have to think like me now, to slow yourself down. So think about my cat, how he thinks every time I go into the kitchen, it's time to have a snack. Every time I open a certain thing, he thinks it's a snack. He's extremely attentive to everything I do. And he is very easy to teach because he's very motivated to get food. I have never had a cat who is more smart in picking up on my cues, because maybe I mean that it's supposed to have him a treat, and he's ready to always, can always have, there might be a chance that I forget, and he's always waiting for that. In order for him to be satisfied, I have to slow him down the way I have his food bowl that is a kind of an obstacle course. That is what you do with Pobo. So think about, here we have like a track, an obstacle course. You are standing in the start. What all you want, but that gets you in trouble, let's say your French fries or your hamburger or your pizza or your ice cream, whatever that is, donuts, cheesecake, that gets you in trouble. That is what you're going to put there on the other side of the obstacle course. So it's like a race. You standing on 100 meter, and that is on the other side. Now, if you have nothing that holds you back and you're hungry, and I say go, you're going to go straight into it and then have everything just like Ram. And it's going to go so fast because you are quick and the food is so high jet fuel. So in simply a few bites, you have already overdone your calorie body to maintain your body weight, and now you're going into surplus. And the food you choose is going to be the most easy to consume in a large amount. And it's also how it's easy packed into new fat because it's so highly processed and digested that it doesn't require any energy to be uh, digested and utilized. So as you can think then, it's like melting ice cream into your arteries. That's what you do. Now, if you want to stay lean and you want to feel satisfied, you have to do something in order to kind of make that 100-meter dash into 10 miles. So you're going to have to want to kind of chase and keep on. So it's almost like you're running on a treadmill in front of that kryptonite. So you can get a little bored of watching it. Now, between you and that kryptonite, we're going to put the Pobo. This is the obstacle. We're going to put that big bowl in front of you that you have to kind of first, you have to mount that. You have to climb it over by eating it first. And now you're kind of eating up all your hunger while you're on your way to get the kryptonite, the thing you want, the crave, the greeting food. While now, with the Pobo, you are eating to satisfy your physical hunger. So all that big hunger that you believe is uncontrollable. That's because you're hungry and you haven't satisfied your physical eating. You're not full at all. You have an empty belly. That's how you have the most chance to sabotage yourself because you have ability to store all that stuff. And don't worry, you're gonna notice when you're in fight or diet, you cannot handle that kind of junk consumption anymore. You just can't handle it because your big food volume eat with me isn't giving you the nausea that you will get when you're trying to do that in junk. Been there, done that. It's ridiculous. When you really truly believe you're gonna weigh up in junk, in pounds, the way we eat in vegetables on fight or diet, your mind believes it, so you're scared. You're gonna have the typical justification game here when people say, well, this is ridiculous. I'm so full. I'm so stuffed and it costs a lot of money to eat these vegetables. And for what reason? Like nobody gets it. I'm not forcing you to eat, just be stuffed like a pig. But if I don't, I know what happens. You do eat like a pig. And not the stuff that you can get away with. And pigs are actually lean. So I don't know why I say a gluttonous pig, where that's coming from. But the most gluttonous animal is like the hummingbird. So that's not the one we say, oh, don't eat like a hummingbird, you bet. So between you and your kryptonite, it's going to be this big food. So it's like when you're a kid, that I don't know how you were raised, but I had no chance to have dessert before I had finished my meal. There was no way. So I had to finish it before I got my dessert. And I tried those games too. I told my mom, like, oh no, I'm not hungry, but I wanted dessert. My mom said, well, but you said you weren't hungry. Well, I didn't have any rebuttal to do with that argument. When you're eating the Pobo now, you are taking care of your physical hunger, so you can actually stay on a calorie budget that is designed to keep you lean, or a refeed that is a little higher, but it goes back to regular defeed right away. You're not making the trend as in eating on a high surplus every day, because when you do, that's where you end up gaining fat, of course. When you have the Pobo, you're going to notice that that big hunger disappears because you're eating, and now you're going to be able to satisfy your psychological craving while you're eating that kryptonite. So when you're starting, you're already full. It means you're not eating to satisfy your hunger, because you can't do that with dessert or high calorie, low volume foods. You cannot maintain a low calorie menu on it. It's too low volume. That's why people can't stay on McDonald's get lean diet, because 1,500 calories McDonald's is going to be malnourishing you because it's so void of nutrition, but also you're going to have tons of hunger because the food is designed to make you want more, and then you can't. So that's perfect, right? You have no chance but to go back to McDonald's. So that's why you don't keep on having a little bit of a flake or a little bit of cheat or an affair with your the cocaine food, because you are always the one who gets hurt, burned by it. You can't handle it. You just want to, but you're not that strong yet. When you're eating, then you're full, you notice how easy it is to actually have whatever you want there, and feeling no reason to overdo it because you're full and you're happy, and you ate what you wanted with slower mode. You weren't speeding it up like Ram to trying to get it down as fast as possible, realizing then that you don't have more. So now you're learning to enjoy and slow yourself down. Welcome to slow living. What is the rush? What are you speeding away? What is the deadline? Death. So until then, you're going to enjoy life. Isn't it time? The time is not to think that you should just find a way of easily get your meals done so you can have a life, because you forget you love to eat. That's why you have to make the time to be with food and enjoy food. So think about the obstacle course. The Pobo is there so you can actually feel satisfaction with your whatever that is that you have to moderate, or you're not going to be able to have it. Now you're learning that the freedom is only that you have to plan and you have to know yourself. And if you're hungry, you're not going to be able to stop yourself from overdoing it. And that's the only lesson you get. Because you're not going to sit here with a big, oh, I couldn't help it this day, and now I'm so bad, so I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm going to forget about it all. Because that's how you never get to enjoy moderation, because you're always keeping on this punishment game that you can't have anything because you can't control yourself. And it's not about controlling, it's about choosing that this is what you want. If you keep on saying I can't have it, that's what you want to have, and then you're going to keep on fighting for it. So give up the fight and then think about how you're just smart by preparing yourself, by eating it like that. And now you know why. The Popo is to make sure that you get satisfaction out of what comes. And it's also a way to prevent you from overdoing so you lose your freedom to have indulgences. Because there is no such thing as a human right to have a dessert every night, in getting lean especially. I just think it's enjoyable to have bliss every day. So that's why I maintain my discipline, because that way I have all the freedom. So that's good to know when you practice that is there in the way. The Pobo is there, the obstacle for you to not be like Ram.